Hey, what up, people? You're welcome to my channel. This is Frederick, your technical drawing tutor on this channel. Okay, so as promised the last time, I said I was going to attempt a question on oblique hexagonal pyramid. Now, I did a previous video on oblique cone. Okay, so you might want to go through that particular example to help you with understanding this very one. Straight up. Now, the question reads, now this is an oblique, it's not a right pyramid. This is an oblique pyramid, hexagonal pyramid. So it reads, the figure below shows the front elevation of a truncated oblique, take note, oblique hexagonal pyramid. The side of the hexagonal base is 30. That is, if you have a hexagon, for example, okay, the side of the hexagon, each is a regular hexagon, okay, is 30. That's what they meant by this 30 mm. Okay, so using the data given, draw the given front elevation. So we're going to reproduce this, the given front elevation, complete plan of the pyramid. So we're going to project the plan of this oblique pyramid. Then finally, surface development of the pyramid using ST as the seam. So there's a part ST. We're going to use it as a seam to develop this. Now remember, this is a truncated, unlike the previous example, it's an oblique cone, but it wasn't truncated, okay? But it's a truncated pyramid. So this is just the part that is existing. All right. So the first thing to do, like I told you in previous videos, that if you're projecting the elevation of a hexagonal pyramid, you have to start with the plan. All right, the hexagonal plan that you project from the plan into the elevation. So that's exactly what I'm going to do now. So the first thing you do is to project a hexagon. All right, so from the hexagon, that is the plan, you project into the elevation. Now I already explained how to project a hexagon. If you don't know how to project a hexagon, quickly see other videos to know how to do that real quick. So let's start straight up. All right, so here I have my hexagonal plan. Now this is not a complete plan. All right, this is just the hexagonal base. Okay, all right, because I need it to actually project this elevation. All right, so just a quick one. How did I come about the hexagon? You know how it goes. Draw a horizontal line. After you've done that, you know the base was given to be what? 30. Don't forget that, 30 mm. So I measured 3 here. Okay, so from here to this point is 3. So after that, I needled here. I stretched 3 on my pair of compass. So I drew an arc. Okay, then I came over to this point. I needled using same radius of 3. I drew another arc to intersect the first one at this point. Then I needled at this point here. I drew an arc like this all the way down. So this arc is intersecting this arc at this point and this arc at this point. Okay, still on same radius. At this point of intersection, you needle here, cut, needle here, and you cut and connect all the point of intersection. That gives you a hexagon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase these lines, okay, these arcs, because I don't actually need them. So for clarity purpose. Okay, so what I'll do next is I need a horizontal line where I will project the base of my elevation. So I'm going to align my set square with this horizontal line here perfectly. Then support with my ruler and transfer a horizontal line to any convenient point of my choice. So let me choose somewhere around here. All right, this is just okay for me. All right, so I'll draw a horizontal line. Okay, so once I'm done doing that, the next thing is I will now project the edges up to this horizontal line to give me the base of my drawing, this base here. All right, okay, so align your set square in this form. Ensure that your set square is aligned on this horizontal line here. So I'm going to do just that perfectly. Sometimes I like to use this part as reference, so I will align just to get a perpendicular line. Then I'll support with my ruler. Okay, so I'll transfer lines here, transfer to this edge up. So you draw to touch this line. So to this point here, and finally to this point here. All right, so we're headed somewhere. Next is, with this information now, you measure from here on this line, okay, from this point you measure 30. All right, so I'm going to do just that. So this is 30, that is 3. So from here to this point is 3. All right, so what I'll do now is I need a line, a vertical line. So I'm going to pick any of these vertical line here, align your set square properly, and transfer to the point where you measured 30. Draw a line up. Good. All right, now the vertical, this height, okay, this perpendicular height is 45. So you are going to measure 45, and this is 45 here, and this is 0. All right, so from here, okay, so from here, remember from this point to this point is 45. So at 45, join to this base, to this point of intersection between the horizontal and these lines. So you connect all of these points. All right, so I did some adjustment here. I moved this a little bit upward because I needed enough space here to create half of this underneath this elevation. Okay, so you know here is 45. So at the point 45, I connected from this point down to these points here. Now ensure your hexagon is perfect and your lines are properly transferred, so it doesn't affect the drawing on the long run. Okay, so from our information, we know from this point, okay, the base, okay, this horizontal line here to this point is 25. So we're going to measure 25 on this line. So at the point where we have 25, we're going to transfer this horizontal line to cut across this. So this is what I mean. You're going to measure 25, that's 2.5. So on my ruler, I have this as 2.5, right? So I'm going to transfer lines. Align your set square with a horizontal, okay, to this point here. All right, so draw a thin line across. Don't worry, you're going to make use of this extension later. So that's it. So what you're going to do now is you draw this part thick to show the elevation. Okay, so that's the elevation. Now I will need to draw half. I'm supposed to actually draw it full to indicate the base of this elevation, but I'm going to draw half of it. Half of it is just enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch 3. You know it's already 3, or stretch 3 on your pair of compass, which is the side. Then with this 3, okay, as your radius, needle here, cut this line, needle here, and cut this line. So connect this point to this point, this point to this point, and this point to this point. Okay, so there I have it connected. All right, now this is just half of the base. Now I've labeled it 0, 1, 2, and 3. Now what I'm going to do next is I will extend this line down. All right, this line, I will extend it down. Okay, now I'm going to transfer horizontal lines again to the center of this hexagon. So this is my center. All right, then I'm going to draw lines from here to this point. I will stop there for now. Now this A, now you can label this part A. Okay, this is what the same A you have here. So what I'm going to do, remember, is an oblique. It's looping. Okay, all right, so I'm going to connect all of these points here to the top. This one will go through this to the top using thin lines. Remember, we're still using thin lines at the moment. Okay, so I've done that. I've joined all these points. Okay, so I would like to label them. Okay, so this is 1 1 1, this is 2 corresponding with 2 2, this point is 3, and this is 0. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do now is, now look at this top. Are you seeing this top here, this point? Okay, I'm going to transfer vertical lines down. Now look at what is going to happen here. You have to be very, very watchful at this point. Now this is for 0, this point is for 0, this point is for 1 here, 1, this, remember, 2, this is for 2, while this point here is for 3. So we have 3 2 1 0. Now if I'm drawing lines down, transferring vertical lines down, I'm going to cut the corresponding or intersect it with the corresponding line. So for example, you see this line here, this one is 0, this line is 1, this is also 1, this line is 2, this is also 2, and this one here is 3. So let me start with 0. Now this is point 0, so I'm going to draw lines, transfer lines down, but I will only cut line what? Line 0. So this is what I mean. So align your set square vertically like this with this line. Okay, all right, so transfer to this point here. So draw lines all the way down to cut 0 only. So this is it, this point here. So this is line 0, this is point 0. So if it is coming down, it's only going to cut 0. Now this is 1, do not forget 1. So I'm going to draw it to cut 1. This is line 1 and this is line 1. So it will cut line 1 here, and it will also cut line 1 at this point. Do you understand? All right, so align again. Transfer to 1. Remember, this is 1. Sorry, have some distortion there. All right, so transfer to this point here. Okay, draw it down, cut 1 at that point, and cut 1 at this point. So we have, this is line 1, don't forget, and this is also line 1. So we have point 1 2 3 3 points already. So I'll transfer to the next one, which is this point here, and this is for 2, so I will cut 2. So this is cutting, remember this is line 2 at this point, and at this point this is also line 2, don't forget. Then finally 3, I will cut line 3, and that is this point here. All right, so actually what we have at the end of the day is a hexagonal. Remember, if this is a hexagonal oblique pyramid and you slice the top parallel to the base, okay, you're also going to see a small hexagonal top here, and of course the base, which is the hexagonal. So this is the base, the hexagonal base, then this hexagonal top here. All right, there's going to be a hexagon at the top here. So you are going to connect these points of intersection. I think it's okay to use a thick line now, because it's part of the real drawing. Okay, so this is the hexagonal top. Okay, now we are going to connect the other parts, and like I said, that's why I said you should use thin lines at the beginning, because part of it is going to be what? Invisible. Like, we're going to use broken lines. So you join this part now, this is thick line, join this point, this is thick line, this is thick line, this is thick line, right, and this is thick line. All right, so this definitely is thick line, this is thick line, thick line, thick line. Okay, now see, this part is hidden because when you're viewing from the top, this is the base. You won't be seeing this particular line here. Okay, it's hidden. So you're going to use broken lines to indicate that it is what? hidden details. Right? We use broken lines here, indicative of the fact that it is what? Hidden details. Then this back also, this one ought to be hidden details as well, because it's at the back. You can't see it, it's under. When you're viewing from this top, you can't see this part. So that's this line you're seeing here. See this line? That's this line. So hidden details as well. Broken line. So that's it. That gives you, this is the plan, this sectional plan. All right, so you just have to hatch this surface to indicate the fact that it has been what? Sectioned. Okay, so we're done with the sectional plan. Now let us draw the development, but before we do that, we have to do some transfer, okay, to be able to get some details on this side, like we did for the oblique on the other time. So what you do is you needle, let's call this point A prime. So needle on A prime, stretch to 0, draw an arc using thin lines like this. Okay, now stretch to 1, this point, not this point, no, this point. Draw arcs, stretch to 2, draw arcs. So you can see the reason why I moved my elevation up a little bit, so I could have this space here. Then finally to 3 and draw arcs. Good. Now this becomes O prime, 1 prime, 2 prime, and 3 prime. Now connect A to all of these points here. Now we are done connecting A to all of these points here. Now if you haven't extended this line before, extend it. This surface, this section surface, extend the line so that it will cut through all of these lines. So I would like to call this W, this point W, this point X, this point Y, and this point Z. W, X, Y, Z. All right. Okay, so at this point I would like to release this paper from the stronghold of the masking tape, so I can move this. So I'm going to draw my development here. Okay, so the first thing, like we did the other time for oblique cone, what we'll do first now is draw a vertical line. All right, make sure you have enough space to do that. I hope this space will be enough. Draw a vertical line down. Okay, so that's a line. So now call this point A, corresponding with this A here. So this is A, talking about this point, right? That's A. So now needle on A, stretch to 3 prime. Okay, that's it, to 3 prime. So that's A 3 prime. Now needle on A here, okay, and cut an arc. Now this is 3 prime. All right, so now you come over, your needle on A 2, stretch to 2 prime. I hope you can see this clearly. All right, stretch to 2 prime. You come over here and needle on A also. Sorry about that. And draw an arc. We're going to locate 2 prime later. Then A 1 prime, you stretch, and you do the same thing for A O prime. Okay, so I've done all of that. You stretch A 1 prime, needle on A, draw this arc. Finally, you stretch A 0 prime on your pair of compass, you needle on A, and you draw this last arc. So the next thing is you're going to stretch 3. Why? Because the base is 3. Or you just come here and stretch the length of the base, which is what? 3. Because this is actually the base that we're going to draw first. So needle here on 3, where you have 3 prime here. cut this arc here and cut this arc, and that will give you your what? Your 2 prime. Then with this same 3, you needle here, cut the arc next. At this point, you needle here, cut the arc at this point, and it becomes your what? Your 1 prime, your 1 prime. And finally, you needle at this point of intersection here, cut this arc. You needle here at this point of intersection, cut this arc. Ignore this arc, please, don't confuse it. It's for this drawing. So this becomes your what? Your 0 prime, your 0 prime. Then with your ruler, connect all of these points together. Now you don't need to draw curves. Why? Because it's a hexagonal what? Base pyramid. The bottom, they have flat corners. All right, connect all of this. So you do the same thing for this side. Okay, so that's it. Now next is just connect A to O, A to 1. Okay, this one has already been connected, so you connect A to 2 and so on with thin lines. Okay, so there you have it, all connected. Now remember, if it were not to be truncated, this hexagonal base pyramid would have just connected these ones with thick lines and that's it. But because it was truncated, we have to look for these corresponding points you are seeing here, W, X, Y, and Z. So you do the same thing you did for 3 prime, 2 prime, 1 prime, and 0 prime. You needle on A, you stretch to Z. All right, needle on A, stretch to Z. Then come over here, you needle on A here, you cut this middle line here, and that gives you your Z. Then come over, needle on A, stretch to Y, the point of intersection of these lines. Okay, then you come over, you draw an arc that will cut these 2 lines, this one and this one, or you can just draw a straight arc. Okay, so this becomes your what? Your Y. Okay, remember, take note of this point. So you do the same thing for X. Stretch, come over here, you needle, and you cut this arc. You have it here, the point of intersection. This is your X. Point of intersection is your X. Remember all of these points. And finally, you have W. So when you draw for W, you have this point here. Just stretch from A to W, needle here, draw the arc, and you have that. Now what you do next is you connect all of these points using thick lines. Okay, connect these points, just connect all of these points using your ruler. All right, okay, so there you have it. Now we are not done yet. You still have to draw these lines, thick lines, because they're actually what? Separate parts. Like it's not a uniform, a whole part. Okay, they are separate parts, so you have to make them thick lines. All right, so that's it. So this is the development of this. All right, so remember, this is what ST from our question, ST. All right, and that's the seam here, ST. This is the part ST. Okay, ST, ST. All right, so guys, you can see this is not difficult to unravel at all. Very, very easy. If you are confused at any point, just go back again, go through the steps. They are very easy steps, and you'll be able to develop an oblique hexagonal pyramid. Okay, so remember to hit the like button and drop your comments in the comment section, and also do not forget to subscribe to this channel, and also recommend to individuals, to folks whom you might need this channel. Okay, thank you for watching. I'll be back with more videos. Have a nice day, and bye for now.